Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing our shadow work, all signs reading today for the full moon in Leo, 25th of January. Okay, so as we can see, I am not in my normal spot. I'm actually over in Bali at the moment with my family. So I know that the lighting is a bit different and whatnot. I couldn't really get it to change much differently to this, especially once I sort of start showing you the cards and whatnot as well. But, so I'm on holiday mode at the moment, guys. So please forgive me for the lighting and whatnot. I really just wanted to get this shadow work video up on the full moon, as that is sort of my regular time schedule for the shadow work videos. Obviously not filming anything else while I'm away, but hopefully next week back to pretty much the normal schedule. It may just be a day later with some of the upload times and whatnot, just due to, plane rides and whatnot, not being able to upload and that sort of stuff. But we'll do our best, okay, to get back to the normal schedule next week. But yeah, like I said, this is the full moon in Leo that's called the wolf moon. Okay, so got that double energy this time around. Not only is it the wolf moon, but Leo being the lion there. So we've got a lot of strong creature energy, the howling and the roaring coming through with this full moon. Okay, but it is a very good time to be doing your shadow work any full moon. But what we're going to do this week, this month, I should say, we are going to, look into some of the deeper, darker sort of aspects with the lenormand. I've got here the blackbird lenormand. And then I do have, being holiday time, we've got a new deck here, the Power of Love. That's the James Van Praagh activation deck. So really just wanting to get some more positive messages with our shadow work this time around as well. That's all about that inner work that we can do to, with love. Okay, so activating the love centers within you for your shadow work sort of flowing throughout the year. Okay, but this particular full moon, it is about reminiscing about the growth that you've already experienced, letting go of all your fears, sort of diving into any discomfort, those vulnerabilities that you may or may not have, overcoming your pride and mastering your emotions. It is all about, looking at the attachments that we create within yourself to maintain, the way that we portray ourselves to others. So the way that we, curate our personality to suit others, and really looking at, what defines you to other people, and what keeps you from being you 100%, rather than that perception that others may see you as. So really sort of looking at how we can grow, as well as creating a little bit of a shield, a separation between, that creative, beautiful side of ourselves, and the need to, that pride, once again, that overcoming that pride to curate our personality for other people, and that sort of a thing as well. Okay, so I will be taking timestamps. You'll just have to be patient with me. I actually fell over yesterday and really, really hurt my wrist. It's very swollen and whatnot. So I am just a little bit slower shuffling today, and taking timestamps, just taking me a few extra seconds to do that with the sore wrist, that being my main hand, of course. I've been having lots of fun doing everything one-handed today, so see how we go anyway. Okay, but we're going to start off with Aries today. So I've got Aries there at 4:15. Okay, Aries, what does Aries need to know in regard to shadow work? Shadow work for our Aries, please. Okay. The first card we have for you, Aries, we have the Stork energy there. Okay, so the Stork generally is all about, stirring things up for the better, for new. And so the Stork as a shadow work card, it kind of tells us a couple of things. It does let us know that you're kind of avoiding things being stirred up. You're trying to avoid new energy. You're avoiding taking flight. You may be getting quite a lot of ideas on what you can do, but you're not actually following through. The stork is the pregnancy card as well. So it's kind of like you're growing these things inside you, but you're not actually birthing them out into the world. So it's asking you to sort of really consider, why are you, all these really great ideas that you've got, why are you not allowing them to actually, come out of you? And you seem to hold them inside instead of allowing energy to stir up around you for positive changes. It's kind of that energy of, trying to be very stagnant and still, instead of allowing things to be stirred up, allowing the energy to be stirred up. So it's really kind of asking you to look at that sort of stuff, the things that you may have some really great ideas on what you're going to do, what you want to do, and you're not actually taking steps towards those things. So it's asking you to actually stir these things up for your own betterment, your own change. It can come through as a little bit of scared of change kind of energy as well. So just some things for you to keep in mind there, Aries, when it comes to that stork energy. We also have the dog. Okay, so the dog actually it's the card of friendship. So it does once again ask us why, to look at the friendships, the platonic relationships, the loyalty, the things that you're loyal to. What are you loyal to? Really sitting down with yourself and asking yourself, hang on, where do my loyalties lay? Whether it be with a person, with a job, with life in general, with those platonic connections, where do my loyalties actually lay here? Am I getting the understanding and the compassion that I need? Am I giving the understanding and the compassion that I need? Really bringing into question, the way that you create friendships, not just within, those platonic connections, love connections, all that sort of stuff, but also within yourself, Aries. Like, are you being a friend to yourself, or are you sort of, once again, just being very stagnant and not stirring up loyalty within yourself, not doing anything, not giving yourself that compassion and understanding that you may already give to quite a lot of people around you, but you're not giving it to yourself. So I'm kind of getting strongly for a lot of you, Aries, that is in regard to, being a better friend to yourself, firstly, but really loyalty is sort of slamming me there with that one, that the loyalties are in question, of you yourself, Aries. So in asking yourself what you're loyal to in this lifetime, and actually stirring that up for yourself, rather than allowing anything to sort of stay stagnant, really allowing things to get stirred up for you, and any of those good ideas that you're having, actually allowing those to move forward, rather than holding back these ideas that they may actually be really great ideas. And it's kind of that energy of, you never know until you give it a go. So it's kind of asking you to have a look at that and stir some things up for yourself, Aries, especially when it comes to the things that you want and want to give loyalty and receive loyalty from. All right, but we'll have a look at the activation cards, the Power of Love deck. Okay, Aries. What does Aries need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Okay. Okay, so Aries, firstly we have unity. Wow, that really does not want to show. You can't read the text anyway backwards there, but that is the card of unity, Aries. You understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So, this is talking about, I'm really feeling that this is, connecting with that loyalty energy, and with that phrase, that ripple effect across the universe. I do feel for a lot of you, this is talking about connections that you're at a distance from, that may be very stagnant with that stalk energy. There may not be much happening in those connections, but you and somebody or some others sharing strong sense of unity, to like, it's that sense of belonging to each other. So for some of you, this may be family. For others of you, this may be just some other sort of, there's a strong sense of togetherness. Even when you're apart, but with somebody there, and love shared with another. So it's like you have love for somebody. Don't forget that it goes both ways, Aries. That if you have this love for somebody and you're feeling that for them, and even if you haven't seen them for a long time, even if they are at a distance, it is amplified and shared across the cosmos there. So it's kind of just reminding you that even when you feel alone, that you do have this strong connection with others around you. And a lot of the time that can even be with people you may not have ever met. That unity is one of those things that those ripple effects can work in very interesting ways. So it's really talking about really appreciating the fact that you can share love, and when you do share love, it becomes amplified. It's not just you putting into that, it's the other person as well, and amplifying that whole thing for you. So the more that you love somebody, the more that they love you, the more that you share love. So it's just a bit of a happy reminder for you there, I think, Aries. But also, yeah, I do feel for a lot of you that is somebody at a distance that you may not have much contact with, that somebody that feels like they may be across the other side of the universe, but there is an amplification of love between you and this person, regardless of how often you speak, or so you can kind of rely on that shared love, even when you're not in contact with that person. Very interesting energy there, Aries. We also have priorities. Okay, so that is, you understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. So it's asking you to really think about where your priorities lay. What are you putting the most importance on, and asking you to actually make sure you're manifesting love in all those situations. So even if it's work, for example, if work is your main priority, your career is your main priority, make sure that you're manifesting anything that you're wanting in regard to your workspace, with love in your heart, your love for the job, for the money that you're getting, whatever it is for you, doing it from your heart, not from anywhere negative, and that fear, especially with this full moon in Leo, it's really sort of asking you, the things that you prioritize in life, are you looking at those with fear in your heart? Is that why we're not allowing that energy to get stirred up at all, is because we do have some sort of fear that is linking with that, and really asking you, where do your priorities lay when it comes to everything in your life, and really starting to focus on putting your love into those things that you are prioritizing, rather than the things that you're not actually that loyal to, especially with that loyalty there as well. So strong, really, really thinking about issues of loyalty, movement within the energy of you yourself here, Aries, in unity with others, which once again, that the friendships and the loyalties with others, and really working out what it is that you're prioritizing in all those sort of connections, and focusing on the top priorities rather than the things that don't really matter to your heart space. All right. So that's what we have for you, Aries. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. But for now, we will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, how are we today? Just bear with me today, Taurus. Swollen wrist, having trouble shuffling, not the best lighting here, but we're making do, okay? Okay, Taurus, what does Taurus need to know in regard to their shadow work, please? Okay, Taurus. So for the darker aspects for your shadow work, we are looking at the fish energy. All right, so that's a very interesting one, because it does talk about finances and money and wealth and the way that you're creating abundance for yourself. So, abundance and wealth is a lot more than just money. But I do feel for you here, Taurus, that this is really looking at, the darker aspects of yourself when it comes to money. All right, so how you're dealing with money. But with that Leo full moon, it's really actually coming across that the shadow work aspect that's coming through the most here for you, Taurus, is actually more to do about the way that you are um, spending money for others, the way that you are, there's just this. Finding it hard to word what I'm talking about here is, for some of you that's going to come across as, other people may perceive you as a little bit showy with money, where you acting acting as though you've got a lot more money than what you do really have. You're being very showy with your money. Leo is a very showy energy, a very they take a lot of pride in always having the best and looking the best, and it's coming through though that this has got to do with something to do with the perception of others and you and money. Okay, so I am sort of feeling too that for some of you, this is about the way that you yourself are not necessarily recognizing that other people are not on the same level as you when it comes to money. So it's kind of that vibe of like, if you're not a very, I don't really want to talk about, the whether you've got a lot of money or a little, like not much money. It's kind of coming through as though you're looking at others in a sense where you're forgetting that others around you may not have as much money as you. You're looking at others around, like forgetting to, you're just spending what you want to spend and not realizing that people around you may not be able to spend that same sort of way. Or you maybe are like me and you're very thrifty and you don't spend very much, and you're not realizing that others around you are spending a lot more than you. I feel like that's something that you will know for your individual self here, Taurus, but it's asking you to look at, some your financial displays, whether you're spending a lot or a little. It's asking you to look at your financial displays and ask you to look at whether you are, especially with that Leo energy. I keep getting like, are you showing off a little bit with money, or spending more than you can really afford, because you feel as though you need to maintain a certain level of spending. So it's really asking you to look at how you spend money, and especially in comparison to those around you. Okay, so that's going to mean slightly different things for everyone within the community there, but the collective. But I feel like you're going to know exactly within yourself, and shadow work is all about looking within and working out where you are with that, and as well. But it's something to do with the perception of others and the way that you spend money. All right. The second card I've got for you there is you yourself. Okay, Taurus. So once again, that's asking. That's pretty standardly talking about. I do have on the bottom of the deck the moon, so it does lead me to believe that this is something to do with your emotional self and the way that you display your emotions to others. And once again, I'm kind of getting that. Are you not sharing your emotions? You're not showing your vulnerabilities. You're afraid to be your true emotional self around others, Taurus. Wanting to define yourself around others as someone very non-emotional, whereas you may be very emotional or vice versa, trying to display yourself as more emotional than you truly are. And it's kind of asking you to, just dive deep into the discomfort, be a little bit more vulnerable with yourself, and really be a little bit more vulnerable with how you're showing your emotions to others around you. Okay. Looking at the attachment that you have within yourself to emotions, and how you're displaying those to others, and it's kind of that vibe of sometimes when you're really upset, and certain people will be like, I can't cry, I can't cry, I can't cry. Whereas if you need to cry, let it out. That's what this full moon is asking you there, Taurus, that if you need to display your emotions, display those. And if you're someone who is very, very emotional, maybe it's the opposite, and it's learning how to master that a little bit more, and rein those in a little bit more, because this full moon is very muchly about the outward appearances of things. So it's really all about not worrying so much about what everyone else might think, and being more true to yourself. And it's asking you to look at that, you yourself. For some of you, that's picking up on self-esteem issues as well. All right, and that's what the emotions are linking with, is insecurities and self-esteem issues as well. But we'll have a look at the more positive side for you here, Taurus. Shadow work for our Taurus, please. Yeah, so this is really what I was talking about with the fish energy there. We have the responsibility card coming through that does say you are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. So, it's coming through a bit with both of those, actually, that, the power of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. So, being a little bit more vulnerable, and showing the love a little bit more, expressing yourself a little bit more here, Taurus. But also that responsibility, like you feeling as though you're responsible for acting a certain way when it comes to spending money. You may feel as though you need to show everyone how thrifty you can be, or the other way around, show everyone how much money you're able to spend. So just be aware of that. We also have tolerance. Okay, you appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. I feel like that's really just an affirmation for you, Taurus, that, and if you're someone who does struggle appreciating other points of view, remember that, everyone is human, everyone has fear, everyone has love, so it's really just a bit of a reminder to, spend some more time in tolerance this coming month, just within yourself, that no matter how much somebody irks you, you're able to tolerate them, because you do know, that they may irk you, but for somebody else they may be um, much more compatible. We're all very, very different individuals, and this is just reminding you to have a little bit more tolerance, Taurus, for others that may not be, of the same mindset or stages of life as what you yourself are. All right, so some interesting cards coming out for everyone, interesting messages so far, but we'll move on to our Geminis. Okay, so Gemini, how are we this month? Shadow work for our Geminis. Okay, shadow work for Gemini, please. Okay, Gemini. Firstly, we've got the coffin energy there, Gemini. So the coffin energy is all about endings and new beginnings, death and rebirth. So it's an interesting energy when it comes to shadow work, because a lot of the time it does let us know that you are struggling with the way that you're ending things, and not actually moving forward into the new beginnings of things. Especially this particular deck, you see the closed coffin there. So it's kind of like, I'm getting straight away here, Gemini, that for some of you, there's some sort of closure issues. You're having trouble closing out certain cycles, closing out, ending things when they should be ended in your life here. It's blending very muchly with this clouds energy as well, Gemini. The clouds energy is all about your thoughts and overthinking. All right. So as a shadow work card, that's definitely a lot of overthinking on your behalf there. But it's kind of like you're overthinking. It's like you're overthinking the endings, the way that things are being closed out. Just trying to get a solid read on that for you there, Gemini. Pardon me. Yeah, it's like it's very muchly like this. I feel like for a lot of you, it's something specific in your life that you're needing to look at. The way that something has ended, and the way that sort of plays on your mind a lot. Because that clouds energy, it's like thinking about something over and over and over again. You're thinking about something so much. It's like it's actually creating confusion and clouded judgment when it comes to that particular situation. And you're not actually able to fully let go of that. You're not able to fully end that out within yourself. Um, the coffin is really asking you to really look at the way that you've tried to find closure within those things, and rather than overthinking it, to do the opposite. With the clouds coming through as shadow work, it kind of tells us to do the opposite. Don't allow yourself to overthink it, but rather than that, instead of coming from your head, you're trying to rationalize, trying to think it through. Come from your heart in order to find that closure. Finding that closure in your heart rather than your head. It's a very it doesn't really want to pin itself down very much here. It's kind of like, for some of you, I keep getting the phrase like you've got your head in the clouds a little bit about this ending. Like you're you kind of confused yourself into thinking that all these things have ended, and that the new beginnings are starting, and it's kind of like you're trying to think about all the ways that this energy can become brand new, but because you're not actually closing it off properly, that can't sort of be reborn into something brand new. Just clarify that energy for Gemini, please. Yeah, so we've got the clover there clarifying that energy for you there, Gemini. So it's kind of telling you that you need to take some more risks, take a chance, um, doing things a little bit more impulsively from your emotions rather than your thoughts and what you think you should do, especially with that Leo full moon. The Leo side of things is all about the way that we display ourselves to others. That sense of pride that we've got. So it's kind of like with the clover there, it's kind of like needing to sort of just dive into, I don't care what anyone thinks, I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I want to do. Instead of overthinking it, it's kind of that just do it kind of energy. But we'll get your positive cards here, the Power of Love deck. Gemini, what does Gemini need to know in regard to their shadow work, please? Yeah. So this card, the patience card there, that's that's kind of what's blocking you a little bit here, is that you're trying to patiently wait for, all these things that you've been thinking about. You know, when I stop doing this, when I end this, I think about all the different possibilities, and you're kind of patiently waiting for one of those possibilities to happen. But with the clover clarifying it, that it's kind of like you actually need to take a chance and allow things to happen a little bit more free flow from heart space rather than headspace, that if I do this, then this. It feels like you're just planning things out a little bit too much here, Gemini. Especially things where you know that you need to sort of close something off completely, instead of trying to keep telling yourself that, oh well, if this happens, then this, then this, and this. I'm kind of getting a dueling energy here, that you have been too patient, um, for things to find their own way of closure, but it's kind of you needing to jump in the deep end and close things out yourself, and then have the patience. So it feels like you're doing things just backwards a little bit here, Gemini. That you're patiently waiting for everything to sort itself out, whereas it's you need to actually take some action, and then be patient that it'll sort itself out after you've taken the action toward the direction that you want to go. It does say you are able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. But I do feel that there is this, you're needing to sort of dive into something and then allow it to flow from there. Needing to end something out and then be patient, for the outcomes, rather than overthinking all the outcomes and allowing yourself to sort of stress yourself out and leading yourself to, just confusion and clouded judgment. Take a leap of faith and end that now, rather than waiting to see what will happen. You already know that it needs to end, and you need to close that out, in order to have that new beginning. And once you've closed that out, then you can have the patience, and that new beginning will start for you here. Because we also have vision, okay? And that does say no matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. So it's once again, it's getting your head out of the clouds, that you already know that no matter what, you can see the way that this is going to go. But you already know that you do need to end this out, and stop overthinking it and just do it, kind of vibe. You already see the bigger picture, and it's just a matter of taking steps, jumping into the deep end a little bit, Gemini, and taking those steps to get to that bigger picture that you can already sort of see. All right. So that's what we have for you, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. But we'll move on over to Cancer. Okay. Cancer, how are we today? Just looking at our shadow work reading. Okay, what does Cancer need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Okay, pretty straightforward here, Cancer. We do have the ring, and that's come out with the mountain. All right, so you need to ask yourself, Cancer, when it comes to the relationships in your life, why are you making obstacles for yourself? Why are you making delays? Why are you delaying, putting in the hard work for these relationships? Why are you making obstacles, within these relationships where you know that they don't need to be there, that you're seeing an obstacle when really it's not actually an obstacle. You just need to actually, start putting in the work to overcome that, and it will be totally fine. All right. The mountain does talk about obstacles, delays, but also putting in the hard work to climb that mountain. And it's this is all within your relationships here, Cancer. Sometimes that can talk about cycles that you've been through, but this is straightforward, telling me it's just relationships. So for some of you, it may just be platonic relationships, but you're kind of making mountains out of molehills is what's coming through there. That you're making things harder on yourself within the relationships, and needing to really sort of ask yourself why you're perceiving obstacles to certain relationships in your life, because they're not actually as big of a thing as you think they are. All right, why it's all about perception, and it's you're perceiving these obstacles as Mount Everest, when really they're just little molehills, little ant hills, little speed bumps in the road. Okay, every relationship does have obstacles. It's just a matter of course. It's how we choose to get over those obstacles that really matters here. And with that coming out for you, Cancer, it does sort of appear that you're perceiving these obstacles to be, oh, bang, I've hit a mountain, I can't climb over that, and not actually trying to overcome these obstacles. The mountain reminds us that you need to put in the hard work. With a little bit of perseverance and determination, you can get over any obstacle that comes your way within your relationships. Once again, it doesn't matter whether it's love or platonic relationships here. We are just seeing, Cancer, that you're creating obstacles where there really needs to be none. All right. So sorry if that's a little bit confronting there, but that's what that's coming through. And it is shadow work. It does ask us to face our darker selves. Okay. Cancer. Shadow work for Cancer, please. Shadow work for our Cancers. Friendliness. You are able to recognize traits in common with another in order to forge love-based connections. All right. So especially when it comes to what we saw for your darker side there, this friendliness, it's kind of talking about openness and because the traits that we see in others are traits that we have ourselves. We're just not usually recognizing that. So this is asking you to sort of recognize the traits that you're admiring, that you're finding, the traits that you're seeing as obstacles in this other person, especially, and realizing that, there's a reason that you're seeing that trait as an obstacle. It's because it's the way that you interact with that trait. For some of you, you may have that trait yourself, and you just have not faced that. And that's why it's such an obstacle to you to see that trait in somebody else, because it's part of what is connecting you to this person, that similarity that you both may, and it's asking you to kind of recognize that, those things that you're seeing as obstacles between you and somebody. I feel like for a couple of you, this is very, very specifically talking about one specific relationship that you're wanting or that you have. And these obstacles that you're seeing about this person are actually traits that you yourself have, and you just have not recognized that you have the same trait. You maybe just display it differently. So it's talking about, being a little bit more understanding and open to that particular thing, or, looking at how you react to somebody's traits, looking at the way that you interact with that trait. And also, we have humility here, Cancer. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are on the same but different paths. Okay, so being a little bit more humble and realizing that, we're all in this together in one way or another. We all face different obstacles. and you know, a lot of us have these same obstacles. You know, so you and everyone else are the same. So I feel like, once again, it's telling you that you and this person are the same, but you both find different ways to overcome that mountain. It's kind of like, you know, that we see the mountain there, and you know, you're trying to find this path, you know, you're trying to hit it head on and go straight up this mountain, whereas this other person, you may not recognize it's the same trait, because they tackle it, you know, like this, and they swing around, and you know, they're trying to slowly circle their way up over that obstacle. So it's kind of like they're dealing with things in a different way. You know, but it's finding that humility in this connection between you and this person, recognizing that you both are facing this mountain together, but you know, you maybe both tackle it in totally different ways. You both react to that in totally different ways. You know, I feel like I'm strongly getting here that there's one person that this obstacle you're seeing in somebody, this, because I feel like for a lot of you, this obstacle is a trait in somebody, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get over that person being so, like, they do this, or they're like that, they behave that particular way. I feel like for at least one of you, that's what this obstacle is referring to. And you're not realizing that they behave that way for the same reason that you react to that, but you both tackle life in different ways. And that's the way that they are, you know, that for their own self, that's how they can deal with that. I'm getting specifically for this person, it's something to do with you both have a specific trauma, that you've both been through a very similar trauma, but you both deal with it in very, very different ways. So I'm kind of getting, it's that thing of like, you know, this trauma that was very similar for you both. They may have dealt with that by becoming a very introverted person, and you yourself have dealt with that same thing, but have dealt with that by becoming a very extroverted person, you know, or vice versa. And so you kind of look at them as like, how can they be so introverted about this, and because I can do it like this? And it's like, it's just that mismatch where you're both choosing different paths to tackle the same problem. And it's kind of asking you to look back at the core issue of, you know what, we've both been on that same mountain. It's the exact same mountain that we're trying to tackle here. They just tackle it in a totally different way. And so it's definitely something there about, you know, understanding each other's path a little bit more, and maybe meeting in the middle a little bit more. There may be something you can learn from this person on how to tackle that problem for yourself, how to deal with that trauma within yourself. You know, this person may, that, yes, do things very, very differently to you, but there may be something where you both are very, very similar with that, and have this trait in common, that it's kind of, it can make you stronger if you sort of join forces and tackle that mountain together. You know, like if you're climbing Everest, if you've got, you know, someone, what do they call them? The dudes that help you up the mountain. You know, if you can help each other up the mountain, it makes the journey a lot easier, is kind of where I'm going with that. But that's what we've got for you there, Cancer. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. All right, so we will move on over to our Leos. Okay. Leo, how are we today? Leo is looking at shadow work for our Leo full moon. So it's in the sign of Leo this time round. So maybe a very strong one for you, Leo, really asking you to look at your self-pride, okay? You know, how do we show ourselves off to the world? And, you know, for some of you, it's going to be all about reining that in. And for others of you, it's just about, you know, learning how much you've grown with the way that you do allow others to perceive you. All right, Leo, what does Leo need to know in regard to shadow work? Okay, Leo. So we have the stars card first for you, Leo, which, you know, in a standard reading, that's all about, you know, your wishes and your dreams in this life. But we do have the anchor coming through with that. So the anchor lets us know that you're kind of a bit stuck when it comes to following your dreams at the moment, allowing yourself to wish and dream, you know, allowing yourself to be optimistic that your dreams can come true. You're kind of a bit stuck here, and you're allowing things to, you know, weigh you down rather than, you know, free flow it, allowing those dreams to manifest for you. You're kind of holding yourself back a bit here, holding back your dreams, the things that you do truly wish for here. That's relatively straightforward. Needing to talk to yourself about, you know, why am I telling myself that I can't achieve that wish? How am I holding myself back from having all my dreams fulfilled? Why am I not allowing myself to be optimistic and hopeful that these dreams are possible? Shadow work for our Leos, please. Yeah, so we have detachment, Leo. That does say you are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. So that lets us know that you do need to detach, you know, with that anchor energy. You need to pull that anchor up off the bottom of the ocean floor. Detach yourself from the things that are holding you back. Detach yourself from the old patterns that are stopping you from thinking that you can have these things, from, you know, the old vulnerabilities that are making you feel as though your dreams can't be fulfilled here. Um, you, you know, detach from old patterns is pretty much what's coming through with that. Especially with this full moon, Leo, reminiscing about how far you've already grown. And if you've already grown that much, imagine if you kept going, how much further you could go. Because we do also have action, all right? You have the courage to express the unique, loving colors of your soul. All right, so starting to take action towards those dreams, not allowing yourself to hold yourself stuck anymore, making movement towards those dreams, those things that you do truly wish for in this life, taking some action towards those. It doesn't need to be, you know, leaps and bounds. We all start with small steps, Leo, but taking some action there, and also, you know, having that courage to express yourself and express your vulnerable side. You know, having the courage to just be who you are unapologetically, Leo. Especially, you know, that's what this full moon is all about, showing your true self rather than holding yourself back and only, you know, worrying too much about how people may perceive you and all that sort of stuff. Take action to, you know, just shine that beautiful light that you have, all right, and not worrying about what other people think. Just do it. Taking the action at the moment, Leo. All right, so that's what we have for you. Pardon. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but we'll move on over to Virgo. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Virgo, what does Virgo need to know for their shadow work, please? Oh, Virgo. Relatively straightforward here, Virgo. We do have the tree coming through. Okay, and the Leo full moon is all about, like, thinking about how far you've grown. And this is what the tree is also about. So very similar energy. All right, so this full moon is going to be a very, very powerful time for you to really be focusing on yourself. focusing on, especially on looking at how far you've already come, how much you've matured, that wisdom that you've got within, that you've gained, from all the things that you've been through in this life, really, really focusing on your own self-growth this time around, and not just worrying about how far you've got to go with your self-growth, but how far you've come already, and knowing that, if I've managed to, grow and mature this much already, imagine how much I can grow and mature within myself, in the near future as well. For some of you, it's asking you to really, really look within in regard to education as well, and personal knowledge. Like, there's a couple of you out there, Virgo, where it's feeling like you're feeling as though you're missing certain knowledge, certain wisdoms, certain education, and this full moon being a really, really good time for you to look at that within yourself and ask yourself as to, is this something I need to take action on, and start the education, start learning about this, start learning about that, teach myself about this, teach myself about that. For some of you, you may be really considering during this full moon starting some sort of formal education, or continuing, or going back and relearning something. We also have the Rider. Okay, so that's getting, that's that action, taking the steps towards noticing how far you have grown, and how far you've traveled. From 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you're a totally different person than what you are now, and continuing that movement within yourself. All right, now's not the time for you to stop that self-growth, Virgo. Continuing that movement. Don't allow yourself to become complacent. Keep on learning. Keep on traveling towards your goals within yourself, like your self-awareness, your self-growth. All right, really, really asking you to keep on traveling when it comes to yourself there. All right, but we'll move on to the other cards for you, the Power of Love cards for our Virgo. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know in regard to shadow work? Wow, unity and commitment. So, firstly, commitment to yourself, Virgo, making that commitment to, if I've already grown this much, I want to keep, making goals when it comes to your self-care, your self-growth, the things about yourself that you want to change, that you need to heal more from, those sorts of things, really staying committed to those goals within yourself. But also, for quite a lot of you, this is all about looking at the strong commitments that you already have with others in your life, and the way that you the way that you're being perceived by those people. Are they understanding that you are committed to them, or that you are committed to a certain goal with them? It doesn't necessarily mean romantic. It can be platonic connections as well here. I'm feeling for a few of you that it's not so much the connection itself. It's more to do with, the commitments between you and somebody. Like, you may have shared responsibility of a child, or a pet, or a house, housemates, that sort of thing. You may have shared responsibilities, and you're needing to really look at your dedication, your commitment to those shared responsibilities between you and another person. All right. That commitment card, it does say you dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. So approaching those responsibilities with a lot more love rather than responsibility. Okay. So not taking them on as, oh, this is that huge responsibility. Taking them on as, do you know what? I really love being able to fulfill my duties. As a parent, as a pet owner, as a responsible tenant, or house owner, those sorts of things. I really love taking care of my responsibilities and making sure my duties are being fulfilled. Dedicating yourself to your own personal morals, your own personal beliefs. Knowing that as long as you're doing it from your heart space rather than your head space, where you're getting trapped up here going, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, coming from your heart, where it's an honor to be able to fulfill this duty. It's an honor to have this role, to have this responsibility. It's some sort of an honor or something for you. It's not so much a responsibility, it's a something that you've signed on for. A lot of the time, responsibilities, it's something that you have signed on for. You have signed on for that commitment, whether even if it's a love connection, you signed on for that commitment. So bringing more love to that responsibility of maintaining that, somehow coming important there, that don't stop now, keep on moving with that as well. And the unity card there, it does say you understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So your love to this commitment, there's a lot of love there. It's getting amplified every time that you commit to that, just by doing that thing, looking after that person, spending time with that person. It amplifies that love energy more and more and more, and that has a ripple effect across the universe. And when we see that ripple effect across the universe, Virgo, what ends up happening is you receive more love in return as well. So works out for everybody, all right? The more love you put out, the more love you receive. And in many different ways, but it's definitely a super positive message for you there, Virgo. It's just about maintaining those things that you are have responsibility towards, maintaining your strength to commit to those, and continue to commit to those every single time that you jump on into that, whether it be sweeping the floor, or baby, like looking after a child, or whatever that is for you, and your commitments that you've made in this lifetime, your responsibilities in this lifetime, committing yourself to those full on, from your heart, rather than duty as such, because that ripple effect is going to come back on you. It reminds me of that, the law of three, when we're talking about things like, if you put something bad out there, you get 3 times bad, karma back on you. Same with love. If you put that love energy out there, you get that back times 3, and good things tend to happen for you, Virgo. So it's a very, very, the more positive that we put out into the world, the more positive energy there is for everyone to gain from, which is, beautiful message for us there. All right, but that's what we have for you, Virgo. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. I'm just going to take a short break and then move on to Libra. Okay, so moving on to Libra. How are we today, Libra? I hope we're all doing a bit better than me. Having a bit of trouble shuffling. I've messed up my wrist here, but all good. We're in Bali with the family on a holiday, so definitely enjoying my time. Check out my Insta if you want to see some holiday pics. Should all be in the description box, all right? But we're having a look at shadow work this month. Okay, so shadow work for Libra, please. Okay, so we just had, I've got you here, Libra. I've also got the tree energy, which Virgo just had that as well. So if you do have strong Virgo, or you're right on the cusp, you may want to check that particular video, as that section as well. But with the you energy, I'm vibing that tree energy a little bit different straight away for you, Libra. But that you energy, that's actually all about your self-esteem, okay? Those things that you don't want to show other people. All right. So with this Leo full moon, it's all about the version of yourself that you show others, and the way that you allow others to, the the Libra that you put on for others' perception rather than the true Libra. And it's kind of asking you to look at that and overcome your pride, step into discomfort a little bit more and be a little bit more vulnerable with your true self. Show your true self to the people that you care about a little bit more here. There is some inner vulnerabilities coming through here, Libra, that, people around you may not even be aware that you have that insecurity or whatever, because you do a good job of hiding it, I feel. So it's just asking you to, be yourself a little bit more, especially when it comes to the things that you do hold a little bit as insecurities, or your self-esteem issues and that sort of stuff. Be your true self. There's no need to hide those things from others. Everybody has insecurities and things that they make them feel emotionally vulnerable, and you may actually find releasing that side of yourself a little bit more, you may actually connect with others on a different level. All right. So we do have that tree energy as well. Like I said, Virgo also had that. For you, this is all about. It's self-care, Libra. Asking yourself to, because straight away I kind of want to ask you is like, why are you not looking after yourself? Especially when it comes to those insecurities, those vulnerabilities, that stuff that makes you emotional. Why are you not taking the time to grow, learn from, heal from those insecurities? Why are you not taking the time to sit down with yourself and work through those things for yourself? It's really all about, the tree is all about yourself, your self-growth. But for you, it's really that self-care. Like, why are you not caring for yourself? I feel like there's a lot of Libras out there that this is why we're seeing you and then you again with the self-care, because your shadow work is to actually face yourself, to sit down and talk to yourself, be responsible for yourself, care for yourself. I feel like a lot of you, Libra, you spend so much time caring for everybody around you that where's the time for you to actually stop and care about yourself? All right, so it's pretty simple, straightforward kind of message coming through for you, Libra, and it's all about you. Take some time for you. Focus on you for a little while. Stop worrying so much about what other people might think, how other people might react to you doing that. But it's all about you. All right, this month you're needing to be a little bit more comfortable with expressing who you truly are, and expressing that to yourself as well, and appreciating that within yourself, looking after that version of yourself inside that doesn't really get out on very much. All right, Libra, what does Libra need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Okay, ownership. That's all about personal responsibility. One more for our Libras, please. Taking ownership of who you are. Okay, it's very, very connected to that first message there. It does say you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. Okay, so I feel like you, Libra, probably someone who, very, very muchly personal responsibility, takes that personal responsibility for anything you do wrong. But where, once again, where's the you in that? Where's taking responsibility for the things you do right, the things that you're good at, your personal accomplishments? Taking a bit more pride in those things. Leo is all about pride, and with that Leo full moon, you don't just take ownership of your negative traits, take ownership of your positive ones as well, Libra. Kindness. All right, you are a humanitarian made of love, and you are able to share that energy with others. So that's definitely you. That's the you I'm picking up in this read, Libra, all over the place, is that you're spending so much being a humanitarian that you're forgetting about yourself in that as well. So, but once again, with that ownership as well, taking that responsibility that, yeah, look, I am someone that I have so much love to share. I share my love with the people around me all the time. I need to share some of that love back to myself as well. All right. You are able to share that energy with others. You already got that bit down pat, I feel, Libra. So make sure you're turning that back onto yourself and sharing that love with yourself as well. All right, but more than welcome to check your other placements there, Libra. That's what we have for you. So we're going to move on over to Scorpio. How are we, Scorpio? Just looking at our shadow work for the month. We've got the full moon in Leo this month. Okay, Scorpio. It's the wolf moon, so start howling, guys. This definitely one of those full moons where, sometimes we hear about full moons where it's like, the werewolves come out and we see a lot of people in the streets howling at the moon and things like that. This full moon is definitely going to be one of those. All in Leo there, so everyone's going to be more extroverted than normal, especially, in the examples of, people out drinking and those sorts of things. You probably will hear lots of howling this full moon. All right. Leo the lion too, so they roar quite loud as well. So expect, there to be a lot of that sort of extroverted energy running around this full moon. Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regard to their shadow work? Oh, okay. One of the Leo connected cards just fell out for you as well. So definitely a lot of roaring around you at the moment, Scorpio. No wonder I felt need to mention that. That was the bear. Okay, so the bear, I do associate that with not just Leo, but Aries and Capricorn as well. So some of you may have strong placements in those or needing to, embrace some of those traits from Aries or, passion from Aries, Capricorn, the hard-working stuff, the perseverance, the determination. But the bear is all about the way that you create boundaries around yourself, and it's asking you to look at the boundaries that you've got up, boundaries that you don't have up, needing to protect yourself a little bit more here. There is something I said in the intro about, protecting your creative side from the need to curate ourselves for others. So the person that you put yourself out to others as, there is a need to protect yourself a little bit more here, Scorpio, to shield yourself, protect yourself, put some boundaries up to protect your sweet, innocent side. Those vulnerable sides of yourself, needing to actually put some boundaries up, to protect yourself from those who might try to stomp all over those boundaries. All right. So there's definitely the need for you to look at the way that you've got boundaries set up within yourself, the way that you put boundaries up between you and others. Are you allowing people to walk all over you? Are you allowing people to, be more fierce with their energy when it comes to, interactions? Are you allowing others to, be the fierce, strong role when it comes to your connection with them, or do you need to actually stand up for yourself a little bit more and create a new boundary where it's more equal and you're actually able to be a little bit more powerful in those connections? All right. We also have the stork for you there, Scorpio. So the stork is all about, stirring up new energy and getting things moving. It's that idea generation before things are birthed out into the world. And I feel like with that, it's kind of coming through as though it's wanting me to ask you why you're not allowing things to get stirred up. You're, especially with this bear energy, you just it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll let them walk all over me just because I don't want to stir the pot kind of energy is what I'm getting there, that you're allowing people to push your boundaries just because, for the sake of not stirring the pot, which is oddly enough, not a very common Scorpio trait. So it's kind of odd I'm getting that for you, Scorpio, because Scorpio are usually, they do say that the scorpions, they've got a lot of poison, venom in that stinger, so don't let them sting you. But you're not, it's kind of like you're allowing people to do that. You're being a bit stagnant and not allowing things to stir you up when they maybe should be. It's like with that stalk energy too, I'm getting that some of you may have a lot of ideas that you're not actually following through on. Like because it is like the card of pregnancy, so it's all about growing things within yourself. But with it in the shadow work, it kind of does talk more about the opposite being true, that you may have some really great ideas on how to stir things up in your life, but you're not actually doing anything about it. You've got all these ideas, but you're not actually moving forward with anything there. Very interesting. But it's definitely got to do with the boundaries, though, I feel, Scorpio, that you're kind of allowing people to step on your boundaries a little bit and take the power off you in that sense, and you needing to stand up for yourself a little bit more in certain situations. Especially, I'm getting things like, at work, especially, Scorpio, that you may have some really great ideas, but you're allowing other people to sort of steamroll you, so your ideas aren't even on the table. Whereas you've got these great ideas in you, and there's no movement there though. So you need to allow that to stir up some movement for you. Stand up for your ideas and your ideals a little bit more, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Beautiful. We've got joy coming through, Scorpio, that says you delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. Okay, so with that in the shadow work, I kind of feel as though for some of you it's about, maybe that's why you're allowing people to push those boundaries, because you're just trying to just go with the flow, be the fun Scorpio, not the one pulling rank and sort of saying, I've got this idea too, listen to my idea. But you can still delight in life and have the spirit of fun and be good-natured while still standing up for yourself. So it's really asking you to look at the boundaries and, are you being too lax here because you're fearful that it's going to, impede on your sense of playfulness and that joy of life that you've got. I feel like there's a bit of fear that's holding you back here. We also have compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. So, compassion, very interesting one, because I feel as though, very, very compassionate. You're being overly compassionate. You're allowing other people, because I'm getting told the example, especially back to that bear energy, where you're allowing people to push your boundaries a little bit because, they may have been through something horrible. And so then you're trying to give them, oh, so-and-so's in such a bad time in their life that, I'll let them get away with it. I'll let them do that. But compassion's not about allowing people to mistreat you. It's not. It's, you can actually demonstrate compassion by, sometimes when someone's going through those sorts of things, sometimes they need someone to, stand up to them a little bit and be like, you know what, we understand that you're going through this and, we've tried to give you, a bit of extra leeway, but you still need to do this and this, still need to pull rank a little bit. Even when people are going through hard times, you can still be compassionate for what they're going through, but also, being compassionate for yourself and the things that you need from them in return. Okay, so compassion goes both ways. You can't just be compassionate to everybody without anybody being compassionate back to you in return. All right? So that's what we have for you, Scorpio. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. I'll just grab a drink. Sorry. It's been a day. All right, so moving on to Saggy. How are we, Sagittarius? Sagittarius, looking at your shadow work for the full moon in Leo. Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius need to know for their shadow work, please? Doing all right, shuffling with a messed up hand. Straightforward, very straightforward message here. We've got the stars as well as the sun. Okay, so the sun brings things to light. It asks us to bring things out of the darkness and look at those things, reveal those things to yourself a little bit more here. What we're needing to reveal to ourselves, Sagittarius, is what is your truest wishes and desires. You know, what are the things that you do truly dream, you know, the dreams that you want fulfilled, you know, needing to bring those to the surface. Why are you hiding from your dreams? Why are you hiding from the things that you do truly wish for? Why are you hiding from happiness as well? With that sun energy, it is about happiness, and it's kind of asking you to look a little bit deeper within yourself and you know, facing the fears, because I'm feeling for you, Saggy, that there's, you know, this full moon in Leo, it's all about facing the fears and, you know, delving into the things that make you uncomfortable. And there's something here where, you know, you're truly wishing for certain outcomes or certain things in your life, but there's a bit of fear that you're not going to have the happiness that you want in. It's kind of that energy of, oh well, you know, better the devil you know kind of energy, where you're sitting in a very secure spot, safe spot. You're in a safe spot. You know how to deal with this. You know, this where you're at now, you know how to deal with that because you've been dealing with that already, whether it be good or bad, you know. Like sometimes even when things are bad, we get into this spot where we're like, I'm so used to dealing with this energy that you know, it's a bit scary to try to get happiness, try to find happiness, try to go for the things that we truly wish for, because, you know, we're like, oh, I already know how things are when they're like this, but you know, if I try for too much, what happens if it gets worse? You know, so it's that better the devil you know energy. Whereas, you know, you're hiding from a wish. You're hiding from something that you do truly wish for here. You know, bring yourself out of the darkness. Don't allow yourself to stay comfortable where you're at. Good or bad, once again, good or bad, if it doesn't matter whereabouts you are in your life at the moment, like, don't allow yourself to get comfortable there. Your fear is holding you back from the things that you know. This desire is where true happiness lays for you. That if this wish came true, that would be, you know, true happiness for you. And even if you're in a really happy spot at the moment, fear is still holding you back from reaching for the stars. So it's kind of like you're trying to hold yourself down on earth when you want to reach up and grab that star out of the sky. So it's kind of asking you to stop hiding from that and start reaching for those things that you do truly want. All right, stop allowing yourself to hold back from that because of fear or you know, that you may need to overcome some pride or those sorts of things. You're worried about what people might think about you if you let it be known that you are hopeful that dream comes true for you. It's not about what other people think. This is all about you. All right. Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius... Oh, there we go. One came out straight away. One more for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know for shadow work? Okay. Another one flip for you there as well. wanting to show me those ones today, the positive message cards, definitely wanting those to be known, Sagittarius, which is like very reminiscent of this. You're trying to tell me, look, I'm happy, I'm I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. I'm peaceful where I'm at right now. I don't want to ruin my peace by wanting too much. But that's telling you that you're hiding in the darkness of that current level of peace when things could actually be out in the open and be much brighter for you in the future if you were to face that. Because we do have gratitude and then peacefulness. All right. So gratitude, that says you fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you. So, you've learned a lot, especially with this Leo full moon, needing to reminisce on how far you've already come. All right. And fully appreciating those lessons that you've learned, even if you've learned them in very difficult ways. Having some gratitude for, yeah, I am grateful for where I'm at right now. I am grateful for how much I've learned, but I'm not going to let that, make me too comfortable and stop me from trying to find more things, and wanting more. Peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. All right. So yeah, you are, there's a bit of fear that you're not going to still have balance, kindness, and love and calmness, that peacefulness, if you do try to reach for the stars here. But it's very clearly telling us to sort of look at why you're afraid of reaching for your heart's true desires here. Why can't you have balance and peacefulness, but still have all this as well? You can have more. There's more for you. All right. No matter where even if you're in a amazing spot, the best spot you've ever been in your whole life, there's more. You want more. Go for it. All right. So that's what we have for you, Sagittarius. I'll just stop for a quick drink and then I will come back with Capricorn. Okay, moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, how are we? Just looking at our shadow work for the month. We've got the full moon in Leo this month. Okay, what does Capricorn need to know in regard to their shadow work? We have the scythe as well as the heart. Okay, Capricorn. The scythe is all about sudden changes and, cutting things out. But with shadow work, it's kind of interesting energy because, it's asking us to look a little bit deeper into these things and look at. I feel like Capricorn, this is about, there's something that you have been trying to cut out. Like I'm getting sort of a message here about you're trying to carve something out of your heart that cannot be carved out. It's like, because with that scythe energy, it's like breaking free from stuff. It's cutting things out. You're kind of, there's an element too of being fearful of change, that you're so comfortable with where things are that you're kind of scared of things changing within love and romance and not going to lie, this is kind of hitting a bit close to home, Capricorn. I also am a Capricorn. And I'm not going to lie, because that's exactly what it's because a lot of the time when I'm getting messages, it's using my own life as examples to myself, so I understand what the message is. And this is something that I need to face within myself as well. Okay, so it's like being so comfortable, not, like you say, like saying to yourself, oh, I want love, but do you really? Like, are you really, like, you're so scared of it? In that same token, it's like you kind of like have gotten comfortable with where things are right now, that you don't, like, even though you're telling yourself that, oh, I want this and I want that, when it comes to love and romance, you need to ask yourself, but do I really? Like, because it's kind of, I'm getting this vibe of like, well, I'll tell you, Capricorn. Recently, I had someone like trying to make me love offers or whatever, and it made me kind of realize that I'm not ready for this. I thought I was ready for this, and I thought I was, ready to get back into dating and all that sort of stuff. But then when it actually happened and somebody was trying to come in, I was kind of just, I kind of freaked out and like didn't know what to do, and I got really overwhelmed and kind of ran away from the whole situation. It's kind of showing me that energy where you need to actually sit down with yourself and be honest with yourself about, I feel for a lot of you that there's something that you're trying to cut out. You're trying to, literally carve something out of your heart. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is something that, rather than healing completely from something where we're trying to just cut it out as though it never happened and forget all about it, and not actually going through the process of, yep, this did happen. I do need to deal with this. So it's kind of like you're just trying to cut this bit off and start over, regrow it all together, rather than actually patch up what's already there within you. That you're and also that you're scared of, for a lot of you, that I'm kind of getting the dual message that for a lot of you, this is, you're trying to, break away from something, but you're doing it in a way where it's your fear from actually facing that, and healing from that you're trying to just push it down. You're not actually dealing with it. And then for others of you, this is about the change, and you've kind of become so comfortable, like me, like what I was saying, where I've become so comfortable being single, and I know what I expect of me, and to have someone else's expectations on the table, I'm just like, so there's this kind of fear connected to change, with love, that it's kind of a little bit of complacency, that I've gotten so used to where things are right now for me with love, that, I'm kind of scared of anything changing, good or bad, that, I can deal with where it is right now, that I can deal with that. But if it changes, then what do I do? So needing to face that side of things a little bit at the moment, Capricorn, coming through. Not being afraid of change, not trying to break free, not trying to cut things out, but rather actually facing them head on and working through the emotions. I feel like for a lot of you, it's that fear of emotion. We're Capricorns, right? So we're typecast as non-emotional a lot. But anyone that is a Capricorn does know that it's a matter of fact that Capricorns are actually probably a lot more emotionally sensitive than other people, and it can be very hard to deal with that head on, because it's a lot. All right, Capricorn does hold a lot of emotion, and especially too with the Leo full moon, you're probably holding it, not just from yourself but from everyone around you, and nobody can kind of see how hurt you are, or emotional things make you, or and all that sort of stuff. So a little bit of a message to dive into the discomfort a little bit there, Capricorn, to, the only way that you can master those emotions is by delving into them and facing them head on, and being a little bit more open with the people around you, being a little bit more vulnerable emotionally with the people around you, especially with matters of the heart. Okay, and not just like I am just picking out mostly love life stuff there, but you know, it can also be platonic connections as well. Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know in regard to shadow work? Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Yeah, so we've got the past coming through straight away. So yeah, for a lot of you, this is stuff in the past. You're trying to just cut it out of you as though it never happened, but you're unable to do that, Capricorn. You need to face it head on. It does say through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. Okay, so that's going to be a really good affirmation for you at the moment, Capricorn. Through the power of love, I can release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform my heart space. Okay, so using this in the positive ways, using the power of love to, release those things and move forward and allow that movement to start happening, not being afraid of change, not being afraid of things changing and moving within your heart zone, all right? Releasing that stagnant energy, allowing things to transform and bring you to a much better place for yourself here, all right? We also have priorities, which Capricorn card, if I've ever seen one. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. All right. So those things that you hold dear to your heart, the things that you prioritize in life, making sure that you're manifesting love in all those situations as well. So not just focusing on manifesting that situation, even for the example of work, if career is your biggest priority, that, there is a paramount importance of manifesting the love for work, the love to get the money from the work, manifesting the love energy as well as the actual thing that, I want my job to go really well, manifesting that I want my job to go really well because I love the energy when it's going really well, like taking into consideration when you're manifesting within yourself, what you prioritize in life, looking at those things that you prioritize and asking yourself, how can you put more love into that, okay, so that's what we've got for you today, Capricorn, but you're more than welcome to check other placements, of course, but we'll move on over to Aquarius. How are we, Aquarius? Just looking at shadow work today, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know in regard to shadow work, please? You, yourself, Aquarius. This full moon in Leo is actually in your opposing sign as well, Aquarius. So it may be a bit of a rough one for you guys, sorry. But you, looking at yourself, the things that you do truly desire for yourself. We've also got the lily there. So it's really looking at, who do you want to be 20, 30 years from now? Who do you want, what do you want in your life long term? Really looking at those things and looking at the things that you hold dear, that you want to hold on to for a very long time. The lily is all about longevity. And it's also asking you as well, with that with the long-term sort of stuff, it's like certain insecurities that you may hold, asking yourself, 30 years from now, do I still want to be insecure about this? Or do I want to, do something about that, face that issue, grow from that insecurity, and no longer be insecure about that particular thing? Asking yourself those sorts of questions at the moment, Aquarius. With the lily, it is the card of emotional intimacy. So, especially mixed up with you there, really, really needing to be very, very vulnerable and open with yourself about who you truly are. versus, the version of yourself that you portray to others, and really being, diving into the discomfort a little bit and showing your true self to others, but also to yourself. Okay, Aquarius, really, really, being true to yourself here, coming through quite strongly there. Pretty straightforward message there, Aquarius, but we'll have a look at your Power of Love cards. Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know in regard to their shadow work, please? Back to a normal schedule next week as well, guys, hopefully. So I'll have a lot more videos next week, hopefully. All goes well. Responsibility. I feel like this is linking up with the longevity stuff, the long-term stuff. Where do you want to be, in 20, 30 years from now? You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. So making sure that you are putting thought into the things that you want to, hold on to long-term. Being, taking that personal responsibility for maintaining those things in your life. Expressing love to those things, even just on an energy realm. You don't have to sit there and tell your job, I love you, but expressing love in some sort of energy sense to those things that you want to maintain long term. Discernment. You are developing the skills to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. So this full moon may be very enlightening for you, Aquarius, with, learning the difference between the things that you love in life and the things that you're fearful of, and really, finding the way to protect yourself from your own fears, and overcoming those fears, and jumping on in anyway with love, as well as, truth from illusion. What is the truth of you? Who are you really? Don't be the illusion that you portray to others. Don't be other people's perception of you. Be yourself, being 120% Aquarius, okay? Being very emotionally intimate with yourself about who that is. And, then, breaking free from the illusions that others place you in when it comes to who you are. All right, but that's what we have for you, Aquarius. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but we'll move over to Pisces. How are we, Pisces? Just looking at our shadow work for the month. We've got the full moon in Leo. Okay, Pisces. Pisces. Shadow work for Pisces, please. A few people get this, but interesting. Got the stars firstly here, but we've also got the moon. So we're getting a double celestial energy for you, Pisces, which the stars is all about the things that you do truly wish for, the deep down desires, the things that you really dream you could have those things in your life, having hope and optimism. With the moon there, that's all about emotions and your intuition, your emotional sensitivities. There's a few questions coming through here. Firstly, why are you getting so emotional about having optimism? I feel like when I mentioned hope and optimism, that a few of you there were like, oh, there's no point of having hope that anything's going to, manifest in a positive way. Why is that so uncomfortable for you, Pisces? Why does that make you so emotional? Very interesting, Pisces, that you're trying to hide from, hide these stars in the darkness a little bit. You're hiding from reasons to stay hopeful that your desires can come true. And it's all because of, emotional sensitivity, that things are making you a little bit more emotional than you like, and it's not very comfortable. to have that hope and optimism in those things happening for you, and needing to ask yourself, why does that make me uncomfortable to hope for what I really want? Why does that make me uncomfortable to have this wish in the first place? Um, some of you are fighting your intuition a little bit as well at the moment, that your intuition is telling you that go for it, go for it, go for it. Go, that dream, that desire that you've got, go for it, Pisces, go for it. Your intuition is trying to tell you it's going to work out, it's going to be fine. But you're allowing your fears to kind of take hold. You're, a little bit of worry that but then it won't work out. Of course, it's not going to happen. And, a little bit of fear coming through there, Pisces. Something stopping you from reaching for the stars. That you're holding yourself back. And especially when it comes to emotional desires as well. So some of you may be, hoping for certain emotional needs to be met. And you're kind of telling yourself, Pisces, emotions don't matter. But they do. And you're holding yourself back from having those emotional needs met. I feel like you're not letting anyone see those emotions. You're not letting anyone know what you need, what you're hoping for. If you want an emotional need met, of course not everybody's telepathic and are going to be able to just give you that thing that you need. Sometimes we need to ask for it. And your intuition is kind of telling you, just tell them. Just tell them that you feel like this. And you're kind of like, nah, no point having any hope about that. Stop telling yourself that, Pisces. Why are you telling yourself that? Why are you holding yourself back from reaching for your true desires here? Especially when it comes to emotions. It's very linked there. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for their shadow work, please? Okay, so Pisces, we do have the past card coming out. So I feel like that's for a lot of you, that's what's holding you back, is these emotional needs that you're wishing, I really wish something like this need could be met. But the past has shown me that it's not going to be. So there's no point wishing for that because it's never going to happen. But, the past is not the future. There's, if you're not, wishing upon that star is never going to fall from the sky. It's never going to land in your lap without you asking for it and staying optimistic, putting that manifestation energy out there to receive that. Okay, Pisces. So it does say, through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. So the need to release some past energy here as well, Pisces, in order to transform this way that you're looking at your true desires here. I feel like, once again, too, with the emotional sensitivities, you fear that people are not going to understand why you are having trouble, releasing that stagnant past energy there. But I'm just getting, stay up with that stars energy. Stay hopeful, Pisces. Don't lose track of those stars, because, the more that you are open and honest about your emotions, I do feel like, that emotional need will be met. But it's not going to be met unless you speak up and ask for it. Whether that be just to the universe, just to yourself, telling yourself, I need this. Emotionally, and I want to get this emotionally. I'm going to, manifest this, wish for this emotional need to be met. I want to, for some of you, it's that for some reason you're not allowing that wish to move forward from the past. You're holding yourself back a little bit in that stagnant energy. Virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. So once again, the spiritual connection there, Pisces. So like I said, with you sort of ignoring your intuition a little bit at the moment, Pisces, and that really makes me upset because, Pisces, you guys are one of the most connected when it comes to the spiritual stuff and the intuition stuff. So, if Pisces is holding themselves back, what are the rest of us all doing? But you are a very spiritual person, and acknowledge that spiritual side of yourself, your spiritual attributes. Encourages not only the people around you, the situations around you to grow, but also you yourself. Okay, and then next thing you know, those stars will be right within reach, and you'll be able to pull them down out of the sky, Pisces. All right. So that's what we have for you today. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. Please subscribe if you're not already. Thanks for sticking with me today, even though, different area, totally different stuff going on. I've got the sprained wrist and everything, but hopefully I'll see you all again soon next week when we're back to our regular sort of schedules, and I'll see you all there.